Welcome back, brave soul of Aries. Tonight I want you to be still for just a few seconds. Take a breath and feel it. Something in the air is changing. Do you sense it? Something is ending quietly, and yet an invisible door is opening right before you. Not everyone can hear its call, but if you're here, it means your soul is ready. In the moments ahead, you'll begin to understand why everything that happens carries a purpose. Because sometimes leaving isn't a loss, it's the very first step of awakening. And now, come with me. Let's go deeper to the place where a sacred door is opening before your soul. Aries, in the quiet mist of an October morning, a door is slowly opening. Not one made of wood or stone, but an invisible threshold where your soul stands on the edge of something it can't quite name. The light there isn't blinding, it's gentle, like the first breath of dawn. For a moment, everything pauses, just one heartbeat, and in that stillness, your journey begins. People often say that leaving is the end, but every time I witness an Aries preparing to walk away, I feel the opposite. It's the moment when your soul begins to expand, as if the universe itself is reaching out, inviting you to cross a doorway that only the brave dare to touch. Because sometimes, the scariest thing isn't the goodbye, it's the silence right before everything changes. Have you ever felt it, that strange shift in the air? The wind blowing just a little stronger, the old memories feeling lighter, your heart stirring for something your mind can't explain. That isn't coincidence. It's your soul calling you home. It whispers that a cycle has ended, and now it's time to begin a new chapter, one where you no longer have to pretend to be someone else, but can finally be who you truly are. I've always believed that leaving is not an act of weakness. It's the choice of those who have walked through storms and learned that peace isn't found in holding on, it's found in the courage to let go. In Buddhist wisdom, every change begins with bravery, the bravery to look into the mirror and not fear the cracks. Maybe you're standing at a crossroads right now, unsure where to go, uncertain of what lies ahead. But your soul knows, Aries. It always knows. Every soul is born with its own direction, and when the time comes, the universe sends signs too loud to ignore. It might be a conversation that ends in silence, a job that suddenly feels meaningless, or just the quiet realization that you no longer belong where you once did. Don't be afraid of that feeling, because leaving is not running away. It's returning to truth, to freedom, to yourself. When you choose to step forward, the universe doesn't close the old path. It gently guides you toward one filled with more light. Each trembling step you take is proof that you are living your purpose. You are not ending, you are awakening. Perhaps this is what life has been trying to tell us all along, but we've been too busy to listen. Let your heart be still and realize this. Not everyone is given the privilege to feel this sacred moment of transformation. It's not easy, but it's real. And in this world, the real things are always the most valuable. Think back to the times when the universe pushed you to move away from a relationship, a city, or an older version of yourself. Back then, you thought you were losing everything. But in the end, you found the most precious thing of all, your freedom. So if today you feel life shifting beneath your feet, trust it. It's not trying to hurt you. It's reminding you that you were born to begin to rise, to burn bright once more. Look at that door with gratitude. It is the symbol of your growth. And when the light finally slips through the cracks, step forward with ease, because where you're going isn't a land of fear, but a realm of awakening. Have you ever felt like life was gently pushing you forward, even when you weren't ready? If you have, share your story. Maybe your words will become the lantern that guides another soul through the dark. As the door opens, the air begins to change. Everything familiar fades into light, and somewhere deep within your heart, something soft begins to call. A sound so small, yet so clear. It tells you that when you're ready to walk through, you'll understand the hardest part of leaving isn't stepping away, it's saying goodbye to the place you once called home. In the long afternoons, when the sunset falls slowly upon the earth, a quiet sadness spreads through the heart of someone about to leave. It isn't the sorrow of loss, it's a gentle kind of sadness, like the final drop of dew resting on a petal before it disappears into the air. Only when we let go do we begin to understand. Not everything that leaves us is worth mourning, and not everything that stays was ever truly ours. Some goodbyes happen without words, without anger, just the quiet exhaustion of two souls who can no longer walk the same path. Some departures come unannounced, yet they've long been written in the wind of destiny. No matter how hard we try, the invisible thread of connection can only stretch so far. When it breaks, it isn't a failure. It's the universe's gentle reminder that the time has come to learn the lesson of release. In Buddhist wisdom, everything is impermanent. Everything we've ever loved, held, or cried for will eventually pass. But within that impermanence lies freedom. Because once we understand that nothing lasts forever, we learn to love without clinging, to care without possession, to cherish without fear of loss. Impermanence isn't an ending, it's the beginning of wisdom, where we stop chasing illusions of happiness and start seeing the beauty of life's constant flow. Sometimes people don't hurt because they lost someone, they hurt because they believe they can't be whole without them. But the truth is, you never lose anyone. You only release the illusion that you needed them to be complete. And when that realization arrives, the pain begins to soften, like rain that has just passed, leaving the sky clearer than ever. I've seen many souls reach that moment, the one where tears no longer mean weakness, but a kind farewell to what once was. They don't cry out of regret, they cry out of gratitude, grateful for having loved, for having lived, for having been taught that nothing ever truly belongs to us. If today you find yourself in a chapter of letting go, don't rush to call yourself weak. Let your heart soften a little. Because sometimes in that softness, you rediscover the compassion you thought you'd lost. You can whisper quietly to yourself, I choose peace over attachment. It's only a few words, but it's a long step forward on the path of growth. Look back at the people, the memories, the dreams that once held you so tightly you could barely breathe. Now they are leaving not to punish you, but to free you. The universe is clearing the old corners of your heart to make space for something new. New faces, new chances, new miracles you've never known. You might remember, you might cry, and that's okay. Let the tears flow like a small river, washing away what no longer serves you, so your spirit can become light again. One day you'll look back and smile, realizing that today's sorrow was what led you to tomorrow's peace. In the end, love isn't about holding on. True love is when you have the courage to bless what once made your heart tremble, even if it's no longer by your side. When you can do that, you've reached a higher place, the realm of gratitude and freedom. If right now you sit in silence, facing the departure of someone or something, whisper to yourself, I am still whole, I am still enough, because everything that leaves is only making space for something better to arrive. Trust that the universe never takes without preparing a gift in return. When night falls and silence fills the air, close your eyes and release your shoulders. Feel that small light rising in your chest, the place where pain begins to dissolve. That is the energy of liberation. That is love in its purest form, the kind no one can take from you because it was born inside you. And when your heart grows light again, you'll see that deep within every sorrow, there's always a flame still burning, a flame that doesn't destroy but illuminates. That flame is your soul, patiently waiting to rise again, stronger, brighter, ready to begin a new journey. In the stillness of night, when every sound fades into silence, do you hear it, that faint whisper, that steady heartbeat, or perhaps the quiet crackle of a fire burning deep within you? That fire, no matter how much you try to ignore it, bury it, or silence it, never disappears. It lives on quietly, faithfully, endlessly, because it is part of your soul, the part no one can take away, the part that makes you rise again every time you fall. In astrology, the soul of those born under Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of strength, action, and rebirth. Mars does not gift you an easy life. It gives you the courage to walk paths no one else dares to take. Your fire was never meant to destroy the world. It was meant to light your way through the darkness of your own becoming. But here's what most people don't understand. That fire only hurts when you fight it, when you cling to what has already ended, when you resist the tides of change. It is you who gets burned from within, Have you ever wondered why the things that once made you happy now leave you weary? It's not because they've lost value, it's because your soul has evolved. When you grow spiritually, old energies stop fitting. Instead of forcing them to stay, let them go, just as a flame consumes old wood so it can burn brighter. Change doesn't hurt us, resisting change does. In my journey as a healer, I've met so many souls, carrying wounds they gave themselves, wounds born from fearing loss, from holding on to what no longer belongs. They forget that fire does not only destroy, it purifies. When you let the flame touch your fear, it doesn't burn you down, it burns away the ashes of the past, so that your truest essence can rise. There's a quiet miracle that happens when you stop fighting the fire, it becomes your light. When you stop trying to control everything, you begin to shine effortlessly, like a candle in the dark, not trying, not forcing, just being. Sometimes, life throws challenges your way, not to punish you, but to remind you that the flame inside still lives. Each time you fall, the fire rises again, warmer, wiser, stronger. It's your soul whispering, "I'm still here, I've never gone out." And perhaps only when you stop fearing your own power will you realize that fire was never your enemy. The fire within Aries is a gift from the universe, a promise that no matter how dark the night becomes, you will always have the power to be reborn. Every mistake, every heartbreak, every pain is simply fuel for your light. You don't need to be perfect to shine, you just need to be true to your flame. So if today you feel confused, angry, or tired of your own path, sit down in silence. Breathe deeply and imagine the flame flickering inside your chest. It doesn't judge you, it doesn't rush you, it simply glows gently, eternally. Ask yourself, what part of me is asking to be reborn? You might cry, or you might fall silent, but in that silence something shifts. The fire softens, it stops burning and begins to warm. People often fear fire because they think it brings destruction, but fire only does what it was born to do, return everything to its purest form. It teaches you that from ashes, you can begin again, more beautiful, more honest than before. And as that light spreads through your heart, you'll see that every upheaval, every ending, was never chaos, it was cleansing. Life never wanted to break you. It only wanted you to remember that you were always meant to become light. This fire, whether it's quiet or blazing, is your compass. It guides you back to the sacred truth of who you were born to be. And when the fire has done its work, when you start to see the world with clearer, softer eyes, you'll feel something new approaching. A different kind of wind, a gentler current of energy moving through you. And in that tender warmth, you'll understand the universe is preparing you for a sacred cleansing of the soul. In recent days, you may have felt a strange kind of emptiness, as if life itself has slowed down, the noise fading away, and within you only a vast quiet space remains, impossible to name. Not sadness, not joy, not fear, just a deep, endless stillness wrapping around your soul. Many would call this loneliness, but to me it's something sacred, a holy moment when your soul is being cleansed. Emptiness is not loss, it's space for light to enter. Just as autumn arrives and leaves must fall, so the tree can rest and prepare for new life, your soul too needs its season of release. When life takes something away, a person, a relationship, a part of yourself, it isn't punishment, it's how the universe clears the way for what truly belongs to find its way to you. I've seen many souls walk through that phase. They say it feels like losing everything. But in time, when they finally stop running and begin to listen, they realize emptiness isn't the enemy. It's an invitation to return inward. When the outside world grows quiet, that's when you can finally hear the voice within, small, steady, and true. In Buddhist philosophy, silence is the teacher of wisdom. When we stop filling the void with meaningless things, we start to hear what life has been trying to tell us all along. You might feel as if you've been left behind, like the world keeps moving forward while you stand still. But the truth is, you're not standing still at all. You're being recalibrated. You're inside a delicate process that every soul must go through, the process of purification. That cleansing happens quietly, without fanfare. No thunder, no blinding light. It's like a small stream moving through the night, washing away fears, memories, and attachments you once thought you couldn't live without. It doesn't take what's truly yours, it only carries away what's ready to go. In every healing journey, I've come to believe this. When life takes something from you, it's because it's making room for what is right and aligned to appear. Think back to the last time you lost something you thought was irreplaceable, a job, a person, a belief. It probably hurt in ways you couldn't describe. But if you look back now, can you see how that loss opened a new door, a door that led you to a stronger, freer version of yourself? When we dare to face emptiness, we realize it isn't as terrifying as we thought. In fact, inside that quiet, God, or the energy of the universe, is whispering the most important truths. That silence you fear is where God speaks the loudest. It's within that stillness that you find guidance, courage, and renewed faith. If today you feel lost, don't rush to fill the space with noise or people. Sit quietly, close your eyes, let your heart breathe. Emptiness is not a sign of lack, it's the signal of expansion. The quieter it gets, the clearer the light becomes. The less you hold onto, the more you see what truly matters. Try this. Write down one thing you're ready to release this month. Just one. Then say to yourself, I am ready to let the light in. And notice, even in the stillness, something begins to shift. Gently yet profoundly. You might not see it yet, but your soul is being purified. The old layers are falling away, so your original light, the one that has always been there, can finally be seen again. And when you begin to feel your own breath, when emptiness no longer frightens you, but becomes your companion, you'll understand you were never losing anything. You were being set free. Because once the soul is cleansed, something miraculous happens. You realize you were never really leaving. You were simply learning how to untie the invisible strings and return to the purest light you were born to carry. There are goodbyes that happen quietly. No doors slammed, no angry words. Just a glance, a breath, a heartbeat that hesitates before letting go. It isn't failure, it's freedom. Because sometimes to protect love itself, we must learn how to walk away. When we choose to leave, the world may think we're giving up. But only those within the story know the truth. Leaving isn't the end. It's a sacred act of the soul reclaiming itself. Peace doesn't come from holding tighter. It comes from smiling softly as you let go. I've seen many Aries, fierce hearts that can face any storm, cry like children when they must leave what they once loved with all their being. But behind every tear, I always see a gentle light, the light of peace. They don't cry because they've lost. They cry because at last they've found the courage to be honest with themselves. Sometimes love doesn't die. It simply fulfills its purpose. Someone comes into your life to awaken you, to teach you how to love, how to hurt, and how to let go. They are the lesson, not the destination. And when the lesson ends, leaving becomes the final test, the proof that your soul has grown. Choosing peace over attachment is the highest form of love, love for yourself and love for the other. Because when you hold someone out of fear, you no longer love them, you love the comfort they represent. But when you release them with light, without blame, without bitterness, you honor their soul and your own. I know letting go of something that once meant everything is a silent battle. No one sees how your hands tremble at night, how you swallow the tears that rise between unsent messages, but the universe sees. And when you walk away with peace in your heart, the universe walks with you. Because peace in the moment of goodbye is the sign of a soul that has matured. Some people leave with hearts still burning, not from anger but from love. They know that true love doesn't need to be kept, it only needs to be released. When they walk away, they leave behind a trail of light, a silent blessing, a faith that even apart, both souls will find their own path. If you're in the middle of letting go, whisper to yourself, I'm not leaving to escape, I'm leaving to be free. And trust this, when you walk away in peace, every door you thought was closed is quietly beginning to open. Maybe you don't realize it yet, but every step you take away today is the sacred drumbeat of freedom. And when you learn to leave without hatred, you unlock your own heart. You don't need revenge, you don't need validation, all you need to keep is gratitude. Gratitude for having loved, for having learned, for having lived. If you've ever walked away from something that broke you, just to find peace again, tell your story. Somewhere, someone lost in the dark, might find hope through your words. Your courage matters, and when peace finally arrives, you'll realize that everything you let go of never truly left you. It transformed into light to illuminate the path ahead. A new path without pain, without chains, where you learn to love without owning, to give without expecting. Because when peace comes, it doesn't only close one chapter, it opens another. A chapter where your soul rises renewed. And there, within the light of awakening, you'll understand the true journey has only just begun. Sometimes rebirth doesn't come with thunder. It doesn't burst like fireworks across the sky. It comes quietly, softly, like the first breath after a long night's sleep. After the tears have dried, after you've released what needed to go, what remains within you isn't pain, it's peace. A sacred emptiness. A quiet space where your soul can begin to bloom again. Rebirth isn't about chasing something new. It's about accepting that what once was has served its purpose. Just as a seed must crack open for life to begin, a part of you must break so another part can rise. Rebirth doesn't happen out there, it happens within. It begins the moment you choose to look inward, to forgive, to love yourself even when you still feel broken. In Buddhist wisdom, all suffering is the seed of awakening. No tear is ever wasted. No wound exists without a message. When you fall to the bottom, that's where the seed of light is planted. And in this October, the universe has chosen you to begin again, not to fight as before, but to live with awareness and to trust that you are worthy of better things. I've met souls who lost everything: love, work, faith. They came to me with tired eyes, whispering, "I'm not myself anymore." And I always smile because they are right. They are not who they used to be, and that's the miracle. There is no true loss, only transformation. Like a fire that burns the forest to ashes, so that a few seasons later, new green shoots can rise stronger, wiser, more alive. When your soul begins to be reborn, everything around you changes too. The people who once hurt you become teachers. The memories that once broke you become lessons. Even loneliness becomes poetry because you finally understand. That silence is where your soul learns to speak again. Rebirth is not forgetting, it's remembering with gratitude. You'll notice small signs. One morning you'll look in the mirror and see your eyes have changed, softer, deeper, fearless. One afternoon you'll walk past a place that once made your heart ache, and instead of pain you'll feel peace. That's when you'll know your soul has been washed clean, and within your chest light begins to spread. If you've been sensing something shifting inside you, even if you can't name it, know this: your soul is awakening. Don't rush to understand. Don't force yourself to find meaning. Let it unfold like breath, like the gentle rhythm of waves meeting the shore. True rebirth doesn't need effort, only permission. When one door closes, don't run to find another. Sit for a while. Let the light stream through the crack of the old door, illuminating the dark room you once feared. In that glow, you'll see your true face, no longer hidden by pain, no longer afraid of being misunderstood. Just you, honest, tender, and stronger than ever. I believe this October is not the time of endings, but an invitation, a sacred whisper from the universe, to slow down, to breathe deeper, to feel yourself again. Because when you live with awareness, you are no longer pulled by the past or frightened by the future. You simply exist here now, the only place where miracles begin. If you're listening to this, and you can feel something stirring deep within, say quietly to yourself, "I am ready for my rebirth." Write it down if you wish, because the moment you acknowledge it, that energy begins to move. You are no longer who you were, and that is the miracle. You have nothing to prove anymore. You only need to be a new soul, a heart learning to love again, a light growing brighter in your chest. And as peace begins to return, you'll see, after every rebirth, there is always a gift waiting. The light of serenity, the gentle reminder that every pain was worth it, because it brought you here, to this sacred beginning. When the journey reaches its final stretch, everything begins to slow down. The light at the end of the road isn't blinding as you once imagined. It's soft, warm, and infinitely forgiving. And within that light, you finally understand nothing was ever truly lost. Every person you've met, every memory you've carried, even the tears that once felt meaningless, They were all sacred fragments, woven together to form the soul you carry now. It's in this moment that you realize life was never trying to hurt you. It was teaching you how to see the world through the eyes of compassion. Every crack in your heart, every goodbye, every fall was a sign of growth. And as you stand bathed in that light, you understand that forgiveness isn't weakness, it is liberation. Because forgiveness isn't about whether they deserve it, it's about knowing that you deserve peace. Perhaps, for so long you've carried unspoken pain, words left unsaid, wounds left open, things you believed you'd never overcome. But today, as you look back, you see all of it dissolving into the light of gratitude. Grateful for those who showed you the boundaries of your heart. Grateful for every tear that washed away the dust of pride. Grateful because through it all, you learned how to love yourself better. And then you smile, a smile that belongs neither to the past nor the future, but to this moment where you are whole and peaceful and free. True happiness doesn't arrive when life becomes perfect. It arrives when you can let go and still be thankful, when you stop trying to fix what's gone, when you stop clinging to what is left. Your soul becomes light as clouds, free as the first breeze of spring. Now, imagine yourself walking down a path, bathed in golden sunset light. Each step is a gentle farewell to the past. No anger, no regret, only acceptance in its purest form. Behind you are the old days, ahead lies the serenity your soul has long been seeking. You're not leaving the world, you're returning to your peace. And maybe you don't realize it, but in this very moment, you've become the light for someone else. When you choose to walk in love, when you forgive, when you choose peace instead of bitterness, that energy spreads, like a candle lighting another candle, in someone's dark room. That is how awakened souls heal the world, not with words, but with their gentle, compassionate presence. If this message resonates with your heart, leave one word: peace. Let the world know that peace still exists amid the ruins, that light still flickers after every long night. Your single word may be the lantern that guides another lost soul home. Thank you for walking through the fire, for surviving loss, for enduring the long nights of your spirit, just to find yourself again. Thank you for not giving up on faith, for choosing to keep walking with an open heart. May your path ahead be wrapped in light, wisdom, and the gentle flame of awakening. You are worthy of a destiny filled with love, a destiny that feels at last like home.